Welcome back, everybody. We've got more coverage of the Travis Scott Astroworld tragedy and the legal consequences following in its wake. We've got two main things to talk about today. First of all, several families have rejected Travis Scott's offer to pay for their loved one's funeral. Second, Travis Scott has moved to have some of these lawsuits dismissed. We're going to talk about both of these, and they're more connected than you might think. As always, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get started. As always, we start with a lawyer joke. Do you know what you call a lawyer who has an IQ of 50 and graduates at the bottom of his law school class? Senator. Also, first and foremost, I'd like to apologize to everybody that's tuned in for the live stream on this past Sunday. I had no idea that you had to qualify your YouTube account to do streaming. I don't know why you have to do that. It makes no sense to me, but there it is. So I'm sorry, guys. We're going to do another stream same time this coming Sunday, December 12th, 11 a.m. Central. If you want to tune in, I'll take any kinds of questions. If you'd like to post your questions to Instagram or Facebook, it's at Reiffert. So let's talk about your video overview. As I said in the intro, we have two things to cover today. First of all, we're going to talk about Travis Scott's motion to dismiss. And second, we're going to talk about the families who have rejected his offer to pay for the funerals. This past Monday, December 6th, we found out that Travis Scott has moved to dismiss a whole bunch of these lawsuits against him. What's a motion to dismiss? Well, in a lot of jurisdictions, the formulation is to be something like taking all of plaintiff's allegations of facts as true and drawing certain factual inferences in favor of the plaintiff, etc., etc. The case nonetheless fails to. Therefore, the case should be dismissed, right? So go back to my Kyle Rittenhouse video. The judge is not the trier of fact. The judge is the finder of law. The jury is the trier of fact. So a motion to dismiss in most jurisdictions says, look, there's no issue of fact here. That even if all of plaintiff's allegations of facts are true and correct and right, nonetheless, the law indicates that the defendant cannot be held liable here, right? That's a motion to dismiss. So if you didn't understand all that legal gobbledygook, we're going to boil it down one step further. I want you to envision a spectrum. On the left side, we have a red square that represents cases that you will definitely lose. On the right side, you have a green square. These are cases that you will definitely win. And then in the middle, we have yellow. These are cases that are maybe. This is the gray area. These are the cases that could kind of go either way. The judge comes in and says, look, the courts are overburdened. We don't want to keep people here for no reason, waste their money, waste their resources, waste their time. So we're going to take these cases that are definitely losers and we're going to chop them off. They're going to go away. We're going to dismiss them. That's what a successful motion to dismiss does. It says these are cases that the plaintiff would definitely lose. They're just going to go away. We're going to dismiss them. Now, what does a motion to dismiss not tell you? Well, if you as the plaintiff win the motion to dismiss or the defendant loses the motion to dismiss, that does not mean that the plaintiff is going to win the case in general. It doesn't mean that the defendant's going to lose the case in general. It means that that definitely lose box is gone. There's still a whole lot of maybe in there. So if Travis Scott loses his motion to dismiss these cases, as I expect he will, and we'll talk about why that is in a second, that doesn't necessarily mean that his guilt is signed, sealed, and delivered. There's a whole lot of maybe. I am still of the opinion that Travis Scott is in a really bad spot here. I'm still of the opinion that this case is very good for the plaintiffs. And again, we're going to talk more about that. But for all of you fanboys out there who were saying, oh my God, there's no way that he can be guilty. He's obviously innocent. There's no way that these cases against him will hold up. Well, get ready to eat some crow, guys, because that red box, I don't think this case is in the red box. If the plaintiff wins the motion to dismiss, that the case is either in the yellow box or the green box. There's no guarantee that it's in the green box. There's no guarantee that you're going to win. But it is a statement by the court that says, hey, something's up for grabs here, right? Something's in play. This case is in play. Something could happen here. It's not definitely a loser. So part two, our other piece of news here, is in the wake of the Astroworld tragedy, Travis Scott had his lawyer reach out to the families of those who were killed in this horrible event and offer to pay for the funerals of their loved ones. Now, whatever your opinion about this, some people said it was a nice gesture, some people said it was insultingly little. Whatever your opinion is, those families, by accepting that money, for the most part, wouldn't give up anything legally. And we learned last week that a number of those families have nonetheless told Travis Scott to take his offer to pay for the funerals and to go f*** himself. Now, why would you do that if you're one of these families? Why would you... Well, it's a few thousand, funerals are not cheap. Why would you turn away free money that has no legal consequence? Well, number one, because you believe that the man is morally responsible. Almost certainly true in the eyes of many of the victims' families. Number two, because your lawyer tells you that taking the money will hurt your case against Travis Scott specifically. Now, we're not talking about the case against Live Nation. We're not talking about the case against Apple. We're not talking about the case against NRG Park. We're not talking about the case against the security company. We're not talking the case against Drake. We're not talking about the case against anyone else. We're only talking about the case against Travis Scott personally. And you have a number of lawyers telling the families, don't take the money, because you're looking at the optics of a trial against Travis Scott personally. One of them says that the family immediately declined the offer. Another one says that reaching out through legal teams left the impression that all he, Travis Scott, was trying to do was lessen the public outcry. You don't get a piece of paper in the mail from a lawyer in Beverly Hills, he's talking to a Texas jury there, saying that he represents Travis Scott. Another one questions Scott's motives, saying, why would you make the announcement through a press release for everyone to see? So these guys are already playing the PR game. They're already looking ahead to a possible jury trial against Travis Scott. That tells you something. That tells you something. So as I read this, you have a judgment by at least 4 lawyers who are representing the families who are already looking to what the optics of a trial against Travis Scott personally might look like and how it may look bad in front of the jury if you could somehow get in the evidence that he paid for the victim's funeral. So what that tells me is that we have at least these 4 lawyers who think that not only is there a great case against Live Nation, Apple, NRG, whoever, but they think that there's a good case against Travis Scott personally. So stay tuned, but that's the connection here. As always, thank y'all. I look forward to seeing you on the live stream this weekend. If you enjoy the content, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and take care. We'll see you next time.